It was good, y'all. It's your guy Georgia Muscle. I'm back with another video. I wanted to do a reaction to some news that happened in South Fulton County a few days ago with a young lady named Ebony Anderson. And this story kind of piqued my interest because I not vividly, but I somewhat remember Ebony. I know we went to the same, I don't know if it was the same high school or middle school. But I do kind of remember her. I don't really remember too many reactions. And plus, she's a couple years older than me, so I probably only knew her for like a year or two, depending on which grades we knew each other. But I seen this the other day, and I just wanted to give my comments on the whole situation. So I'll start off with the video of what happened. Let's get into it.
Tonight we have some new details in the shooting death of a woman outside a Fulton County school.
34-year-old Ebony Anderson was killed outside Palmetto Elementary School yesterday. Atlanta News First Tracy Amick Pierre is live at the Fulton County Jail. And Tracy, you were able to speak with her family.
That's right, and Anderson's family tells me she was an artist, a mother, and a food delivery driver. And she was on a food delivery run when she was killed.
You know, she was a great daughter. Very, very beautiful, nice and kind to everyone, and just sad day.
One day after Ebony Anderson was killed in a shooting outside Palmetto Elementary School, her stepfather, Tariq Robinson, tells me the Shiloh High School graduate loved art and had a t-shirt company. She was also a mother to 8-year-old twin boys and an 18-month-old son.
I mean, she was a great mother. She loved the boys. And so, I mean, she did everything and that she could for them.
Robinson says she was also a food delivery driver, and we've confirmed with DoorDash that's what brought her to the Palmetto Elementary School front door on Tuesday, where police say she was shot and killed by 39-year-old Christopher Ates.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, they were all together, riding together, and when the incident happened, the guy jumped in the car and took off with the baby in the car.
Police chased Ates and arrested him after a crash near Houston County. Thankfully, Anderson's toddler, who was in the back seat, was safe.
But he's okay. I went to, go pick him up from the county that he was in. So I got him and retrieved him last night.
Robinson says their family is devastated by Ebony's loss. Did you see any red flags?
Yeah, see the pause? He got to look like, man, he's thinking about, man, where should I start with the red flags? I mean, you see the picture with this guy. I mean, I've done a video about your hair and how your hair represents your status to the public. So look at the stepfather and look at his reaction. Well, let's go back when she asked that question.
In the back seat was safe.
But he's okay. I went to go pick him up from the county that he was in. So I got him and retrieved him last night.
Robinson says their family is devastated by Ebony's loss. Did you see any red flags?
Look at that pause.
I just knew he wasn't trying to go anywhere in life. He was more or less looking for someone to save him. Ebony had a great heart and probably wanted companionship at that time, and so therefore he just happened to be the person that stepped into her life, and here we are.
That's sad, man. 34 years old, killed by, I don't know if they were still together or not, but I know he was the father of her. According to the story, like I said, I don't know her personally. I just remember her. I don't personally know her. I just remember her, so that's why I wanted to react to this. And speaking in general sense of a lot of women who go through these type of things with their partners, which I think is very unfortunate, because from the outside looking in, it's just like, man, what are they seeing? What are they doing? What are they thinking? Is your self-esteem that low where you pick certain guys, just because for one, she already had twins, no telling where the father of those, the twins is. is your self-esteem so low? Is your self-worth so down in the gutter where you just need help? You just need, like the stepfather said, just need companionship. You know, where not only you put yourself in a bad position, but you put your kids in a bad position as well. Because you see with this, you have a kid with him, and then this guy decides to go, he kills you, then go do the dash with the 17-year-old and 17-month-old in the vehicle, running from the cops, running into the back of a truck, running into an embankment, running into a guardrail. Could have killed that baby. I mean, that's it's just piss poor judgment. But we also have to look at what's the history, from childhood to toddler age to middle school, high school, college. What's leading up to these type of decisions. Because I want to get into this next video where they talk about, they had another segment where they talked about his criminal history. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. I think that's just very, very, very sad here. I'm a robot. Sorry, my daughter playing the music. All right, here we go.
Accused of shooting and killing a young mother outside of a Fulton County elementary school.
Atlanta News First anchor Victor Williams is live in Fulton County. Victor, her family is still trying to process all this information.
Yeah, Wally and Carly, absolutely. As you guys can imagine, it's a lot on them, and they've got a long way to go in terms of just healing. But if you take a look into this man's background, there's a chance that red flags could have been there all along.
She was a loving daughter. Beautiful. Always.
You can hear the raw emotion in Tariq Robinson's voice as he fought to hold back the tears when describing his stepdaughter, Eboni, the same 34-year-old mother of 3 that was gunned down in front of Palmetto Elementary.
Eboni had a great heart, very beautiful, nice and kind to everyone, and just sad day.
The person allegedly behind the shooting was 39-year-old Christopher Aites. The two had some sort of relationship beforehand.
I just knew he wasn't trying to go anywhere in life. He just happened to be the person that stepped into her life, and here we are.
After looking more into the suspect, Atlanta News First found out that he has a pretty extensive criminal history, which includes armed robbery, aggravated homicide, a weapon law violation, along with obstruction and resisting.
Now, there's, something, especially with my sister. I have 2 sisters. And I'm like, man, well, first off, with our father, I think if they were to, be around us, or especially my parents, my dad and my mom, with, a guy with that type of history, that's a no sir. No sir, no ma'am. And I think for a lot of times, families have to be a little bit more strict and not so forgiving and understanding of, certain, and it's not just for guys, but also for women as well. Don't bring somebody with that type of criminal history around this family, because that's not something that we do. That's not, it's just be plain out and say, man, that's not good for you. That's not in your best interest. Because, this is more so happening on the women as victim side, where they're, for me, I'm thinking they need help, they need love, they need companionship, they need somebody to love on, because that's what women like to do. So based on their self-worth and the love that they have for themselves, they pick some guy that's at the bottom of the gutter, that's struggling. And the first video I seen, I'm not gonna play here, but the first video I seen, they say this guy just got out of prison and was homeless. She bring this guy into her home and have a baby with him. I could only imagine the heartbreak and the stress and the guilt and all this type of stuff, the emotions she was going through, knowing that she made a mistake, but she refused to get out of it. And I'm not trying to disparage her particularly, but in a general sense, a lot of women do this, where they find a man, they want to pick him up, dust him off, like he's some gold nugget out in California during the gold rush. But that's But you're not finding gold though. You're finding shit. That's what you're finding. You pick up a piece of shit, you need to put it back down on the ground. All right. These are not gold nuggets that you're finding. All right. So there's no value in some guy that has resisting and second-degree homicide and bank robbery and all this craziness. There's none of that. And these guys, if they're not gonna mess with your kids, they're gonna mess with you. They're gonna harm you. A lot of these people are dangerous, man. They've been in and out of the system, for so long. You don't compromise your peace and your sanity just because you need help and you need love. It's not that serious. I promise you it's not, because the end result can always ends up tragic. Some women tend to make it out, but others they don't. And this is the reality. And like I said, we have to go back and understand what people are going through when they're young, because this is where it starts. Because a lot of people see the red flags, men and women see the red flags, but they don't care. You can't be that desperate. Never. And families ought to have to do a better job of vetting who, their son or daughter, you cousin or whoever is getting, grandson, granddaughter, who they're getting with, because you don't want to have to put such a burden on the family. That's not fair to the family. Like, you know better. Let's say you're blind about love. Everybody on the outside who's not blind about love should be able to look through and see through this person like, oh no, this not gonna work. And shoot, if I was ever to bring my sisters on here, you'll understand. Me and my other brothers and my dad were like, no, that's not a good candidate for you. That's not what we do in our household. I mean, we don't live together, but that's not what we do, in this family dynamic. Next, you need somebody who's on a, upper tier, upper level, who has his head on straight, who's not in and out of drugs, out of prison, using drugs and alcohol to cope and have such a bad background. No, we don't do that type of stuff. For me personally, I ain't looking for no chick with no trauma. When I found my wife, that was on my list, because I dealt with a chick in high school who had a whole bunch of trauma and it was not good. I learned my lesson early. Yeah, shoot, I might tell some stories one of these days on here. I learned my lesson early. No physical trauma, no sexual trauma, no parental, no, don't deal with none of that. And if I can't find no chick who was like that, I'll just be single. Who want to deal with that? I ain't had none of that happen to me. So we ain't about to trauma bond over nothing. I think it's silly. But, but I also worked on myself, worked myself out of the gutter, worked myself out of depression. I understand I'm a lot better than my circumstances. And I deserve a lot better in a woman I want to be with. So I found my way up out of those dark places for sure. And I'm hoping that a lot of these women, because I say a lot of the women, because a lot of them end up being victims to domestic violence. Hope they can find themselves out of these situations and do the work yourself. I think it's more important to do that instead of coping with alcohol, coping with drugs, coping with food, coping with all the stuff that's not really helpful. So I think that's unfair. But let's finish playing this video.
Most of those offenses stem from 2006, 2 decades ago. Fast forward to now, when investigators say it was a domestic situation that led to Eboni's death, allegedly at the hands of AIDS.
I don't care if it was 2006, 1996, 1986. To me, personally, once a criminal, always a criminal. All they're doing at that time, especially violent offenses, all they're doing is working their way to oppress those urges. That's all they're doing. You're not getting out of that. I don't care how long you've been out of jail. You fighting those urges. I say the wrong thing. I do the wrong thing. I look at you the wrong way. Boom, there you go. Look at these road rage incidents. A lot of people who are in prison are, especially for violent offenses, they're doing stuff, they're snapping. Why? Because they're fighting urges all day, every day, at work, at school, at church, on the road, driving. They're fighting urges all day. Who wants to be around those type of people? I don't. Ain't no felons around me. Like LaRussell said, all my friends, they're not abusers, users, or rapists. We don't hang with those type of guys. We don't hang with those type of chicks. Get them out of your life. People in DUI and doing the dash from the cops and selling poison to people. Who wants to be around that type of stuff, man? Nobody wants that. Man, stay away from those type of people, man. You'll never catch me with no fool like this. Straight up.
During that time, Palmetto Elementary went into a hard lockdown. As a result, all students had to be relocated to Bear Creek Middle School. Ates allegedly led authorities on a police chase in Middle Georgia, where he was ultimately arrested. And Tuesday night's Board of Education meeting, Fulton County Schools Superintendent Dr. Mike Looney praised the district officers for making sure everyone was safe.
I am very, very grateful for our Chief of Police, Mark Saborski, who's in the audience tonight.
Ebony now leaves behind a pair of 8-year-old twins who now have to grow up without parents, along with another infant.
She has an 18-month, 1-year-old who happened to be in the car doing the check.
But he didn't even care about it. That's what I'm saying. Once a criminal, always a criminal. This guy go kill you, got his own kid in the car and go do that. He don't even care. I'm just glad the kid is safe. I mean, he didn't care. That's what I'm saying. They're fighting urges to be violent all day, every day. Ain't no telling what's going on when they out there door dashing. This guy shouldn't even have a weapon, but rules don't really matter to criminals. I hope people understand that. Having rules for criminals does not matter because they don't care about rules. They're fighting urges every single day. Why put yourself in that type of situation? And this goes for anybody. Not just her, but anybody. You will save your family heartbreak and having to bury you and make funeral arrangements and have to make, child care arrangements because the things that you're doing, the people that you're around. This is what's going on. People who are hard-headed, people who refuse to listen, who refuse to obey laws and rules and regulations, and are just difficult people. You have to stay away from these type of people. It will save you years of, from cutting your life short, rather through violence or through stress. People dying from heart attacks. People dying from strokes in their 30s and 40s and 50s. They're so stressed out. Marriages are breaking apart because people are so stressed out. When 20, 30, 15, 10 years before, a lot of this stuff should have been nipped in the bud. But I guess people are so desperate for love and attention and affection, companionship. No, you need to love yourself enough that you're able to be by yourself. That is how I look at life. That's just how it should be. You should have a strong enough family unit to be able to tell you the truth as well. Seriously, you gotta have that. I brought some. Well, first off, I ain't never really brought no ratchet, crime loving chick around my family. I know my parents would be disappointed and wouldn't allow it. I knew they wouldn't allow that type of stuff. So we need to start being honest with what's going on in our family, around our friends, and just say, nah, this is not right. And be willing to be like, nah, we can't kick it anymore. No, you're not allowed over here. Don't even worry about coming here or doing this with us until you, get some sense about yourself, like my mom would say. So just want to, comment on that. Also, the family has a GoFundMe up for her. So you just go to Eboni Anderson, Ebony with an I. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Hold on. All right, she has a GoFundMe. As you see, there about 7,000 currently. You know, you wanted to donate, say some words of encouragement, bless the family, especially those 3 kids that'll be without their mother. You could do that as well on this GoFundMe page. And I wanted to bring up, you know, another theory that I had. I'll probably bring up in another video about the 4 Ps, in which women are looking, you know, how their mental state goes and what they're looking for. I'll bring that up in another video though. So yeah, here's the GoFundMe. Rest in peace to her. Like I said, I didn't know her personally. I do remember her. I know we went to the same school. I asked my brother. I think we rode the same bus as well. I asked my brother. He said he don't remember, but if we rode the same bus, but he do remember going to school with her. So rest in peace to her. Yeah, sad situation. So it's your guy, Georgia Muscle Boy, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. Peace.